Welcome in. It is a Friday edition of Views from the Stands, and we truly appreciate you tuning in to the show. It's a holiday weekend, so we're changing the schedule up a little bit. Hopefully you guys are able to tune in and enjoy it just as much as we are, but we want to know we know you want to get to your long weekend as well. I'm your host, Stevie B, Steve Brennan, and we are back at full strength. We got Mr. BC in the building. We have the GM, G Mike, and we have a fun-packed show for you today. As like what I was saying before, it's a holiday weekend, so let's have some fun. We have a huge trade that rocked the NFL yesterday. We have full details and reaction to that. A top 25 upset fresh off this college football season, and our very own Mr. BC was working the game, so he has all the details for us. UFC keeps on putting out cards that are just simply amazing. We got a new announcement, UFC 322. So it's going to be a great two main events. Can't wait to talk about that one. We have an amazing college football weekend. This could possibly be the greatest college football game week one of the entire in college football history. I don't know. This is pretty. I might be doing bias, man. We got number 1 Texas versus number 3 Ohio State, number 6 Notre Dame versus number 10 Miami Hurricanes. Going back to old school convicts versus the Catholics, man. We also have everybody's favorite DownBad debate. We got 2 of them. It's the fantasy football season, and we are going to have some fun with that. But before we get into all of that, we're going to go ahead and let Mr. BC let the good people know what you got going on, my man.
I mean, first of all, dude, coming in hot with the Catholics versus the convicts, man. I love it.
I love it. Like,
longest jar 3 right here, man. I dig it. Oh, the hype is real.
Thank you.
Oh, man, but you guys already know, man. Mrs. and I got our small business. I'll keep this short and sweet. We got brandes.media. That's where we got your event, weddings, engagements, photography, videography, you name it. We do it if it comes to event production. Like I said, we cover it all from A to Z. Check out our portfolio online, brandes.media. We make memories that last a lifetime. That's the catchphrase that pays the bills right there. And then also, too, like you can see on the little bio screen right there, a little undercard right there underneath my name tag there. BC the Brand, that's where I've got my website, where I've got my portfolio, all the stuff for my voice work, camera work. Anybody you know needs somebody to provide, great, voiceover work for commercials and stuff like that, hit me up. bcthebrand.com, and then you can follow me at bcthebrand_media on my socials. Been working all day this week. This Labor Day is not going to feel like much of a day off at all.
For my man.
It's not even a day off. I'm working Rays that night. So my gosh.
The grind never stops, man. The grind never stops. Listen, you might know all about grinding and all that, man. Let the people know what you got going on.
Yeah, bro. The days off are never for me, baby. Every day I'm working, baby. And if you know, I'm working in the damn Telegram with these sports bets, baby. Telegram channel got it on and popping. We got football right around the corner tonight. We got some slips. We got some slips for tomorrow. We got some slips for next week. And we got some slips for the rest of the season. If you're a big-time football fan, we got sports slips for you when it comes to gambling. It's $10 a month, but we could get you anywhere from $20 to $50 to $100 a day of winnings. And we have an affiliate program, which is another way that you can make money in the chat. You'll see the link pop up in the chat right now if you're watching live. If you're watching the recorded episode, the link is going to pop up on your screen, as well as my socials. You can send me a little DM, talk about how you can get in there, all the details can relate, and we'll get you on and going, man.
Absolutely, man. Everybody loves money, especially going into the holiday weekend. And there's so much football going on this weekend. You better jump on that Degenerates channel there and get yourself some money while we're at it. Speaking of money, man, we got to pay some other bills, man. We got Varsity Sports. He's been riding with us, man. Varsity Sports is a great app. We've been doing really successful on there, and we really appreciate everything Varsity's done with us and for us. If you want high school sports, they got you, man. You want live college sports, they got you. The best thing is that it's all on an easy-to-use app. You can find it on your Roku, your iOS, your Android, pretty much anywhere that you can find it out there. You can get your Varsity Sports. Best thing is that you can watch content just like our show here, as well as any multiple other different content creators out there, and they have a lot of good people out there. So check them out. It's a lot of fun. It's a great app, and it's free. And we also got to give a shout out to Millions. Millions has been doing a lot with us, and they're also an up-and-coming company that is just trying to get their name out there a little bit more. They can do a lot of interviews and a merch with fans. So check out millions.co. We also have another affiliation with Assist. We'll be using them a lot more. Mr. G Mike, you want to talk about a little bit more about the Assist program we have coming up?
Yeah, man, Assist is just like Twitch. If you guys like watching other gamers play in certain games, like their vibe, ask them questions, make some comments, be along with them while they're playing the game and having a conversation. It's exactly like that, but just for sports. So we're going to try and do week 1, Cowboys, Eagles, try to be at Steve's crib, drink some beers, have a good time, have you guys in the chat. You guys want to make fun of us? You guys want to say how bad we are at knowing sports or whatever the hell we're talking about? Man, come in and we'll have a good time, bro.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be different from your traditional sportscast. We're going to try and make this a lot more loose and almost like you're hanging out with your friends, and which is what we try to incorporate with our show. So we're really looking forward to this process here. But like we were saying, time is money, and let's go ahead and get into that news, baby.
News from the world of sports.
All right, man, we had a major trade that happened in the NFL that is rocking the world right now. The Dallas Cowboys made headlines as they traded away star pass rusher Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. The deal was for defensive tackle Kenny Clark and a 2026 and 2027 first-round pick. The Packers also wasted no time signing the All-Pro to a reported $188 million contract, averaging $47 million a year, making him the highest paid non-QB in NFL history, making this arguably the biggest move in Packers history since Reggie White back in 1993, and we all know how that worked out for the Packers. A couple years later, they were taking home that Lombardi trophy back to Green Bay where it started all from. As you can see, Mr. G Mike is already distressed. His Dallas Cowboys made another move that is puzzling, and we can't really figure out what they're doing sometimes. So, I mean, honestly, let's go ahead and give this one up for Mr. Jerry Jones. The audience loved it. They're excited for you, man.
He's speechless.
G Mike, what's your thoughts on this, brother?
You need a minute.
Oh, man.
It's okay, man. You can cry.
No, I'm not going to cry, but it's very frustrating on how us as fans, and it's not just Dallas Cowboys fans, it's fans for any team sport that you are. BC with the Buccaneers, Steve with the Colts, me as a Dallas Cowboys fan. It is heartbreaking and frustrating to see that you want your team to have so much success and you want your team to win and you want to be on top of the world and be champions and be all what is talked about in that sport. But it doesn't seem to be like that in Jerry's mind. It seems to be like his pride takes over. He doesn't want to be disrespected in any kind of way. And I don't know for a fact that Micah Parsons disrespected him, but if I would put money on it, I would put the over that he did disrespect him. So Jerry Jones doesn't like that. He has full pride, and he's going to be like, you know what? I'm going to get you off the team. I don't care if you are a top 2, top 3 defensive end in the league right now. I don't care if you can change a whole defense's dynamic when it comes to stopping the pass, stopping the run, and making the whole opposing offenses in such confusion with the type of player that he is that it just makes everything go a clusterfuck. And Jerry doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about that. So they traded him away to a team that literally embarrassed us the last playoff game that we were in, a team that literally stopped us from going to the Super Bowl with Tony Romo and Des Bryant because of the whole it was a catch scenario, and you give them I would say best player on the team, honestly, our best player on the team, you give it to them, and now they went from maybe they'll win the division to looks like they're going to go to the Super Bowl. And dude, it's just very frustrating as a fan to see that you want to win and you want to have the best players around in the team to win. And that is not going to happen with this trade. And we only got 2 first-round picks back and Kenny Clark, that they think that Kenny Clark is like Aaron Donald.
Yep. Well, I was going to say, that's literally like I got an article pulled up here. Jones is like, this was a successful move to get us in the playoffs for making that trade. It's like, this was a move to be better on defense, stopping the run. This was to move to, if we get behind, not be run on. And this is a deliberate move, a well thought out move to make this happen. Your thoughts?
Yeah, man, it's just crazy some of the stuff that's been going on with Dallas, and you know, Jerry's definitely one of those guys, like you were saying before, that he wants to be the face. And we were joking before the show a couple of days ago, Jerry loves the drama, and I honestly thought that's all this was that They were just going to keep all eyes on Dallas Cowboys. It's good for the brand. It keeps them in the media. I really didn't expect this one to happen. I mean, this does bring up another question, though, that I wanted to – we can get back to the Micah thing, but this is kind of wild to me. It's something I was thinking about the other day. It's pretty crazy. Do you think it's a new era in sports right now? Because if you think about it in basketball, the Mavs just traded their other star player, Luka Doncic, to the Lakers. The Dallas Cowboys just traded arguably the generational piece as well to Green Bay. Do you think do you think these are right moves that they're looking for long term, or do you think that they're just being so knee jerk now because it's so win now and no one's happy? BC, what do you think about that?
I think it's probably a little bit more of the latter. I'm sure in the owners' minds they're thinking it's the former, but no, it's more short-sightedness on their part. And I think you guys have pretty much hit the nail on the head as far as Jerry Jones. Delusional, I would say, at best. Like he does want to be the face of the Cowboys. He wants to be the star. He runs the show. That's how it's been ever since the 90s, ever since when he took over for the team. And I get the idea that, bad publicity is better than no publicity, but at what cost, though? If you are known as kind of a cancer, unsaid to your franchise, to the fans, to the team, like whatever, that eventually players hear that back enough, they don't want anything to do with your organization. I get it that you want to be popular, you want the primetime spots and everything, but eventually the losing and the horrible reviews that you get from people leaving the organization, those come back to bite you. So there needs to be a healthy balance of, yes, you need to stay relevant as a franchise, but at the same time, you need to be respectable as a franchise as well. And being an owner, part of that is doing your job and not trying to be the face of the team, but putting the right people in place to make the correct football decisions, personnel decisions, etc. Everybody has to do their job. It's a well-oiled machine. You are not the face. You are just one small part of it.
Gee, Mike, I'd redirect the same question to you, man. I just found that to be kind of interesting that in the same, fiscal year, if you will, two major pieces have been traded. And I don't know if you like the return that Dallas got. I mean, they couldn't get any more first rounders. You can only get 2 first rounders. But it's almost the same kind of situation with Luka as well. Like that, most of the fans are like, what the hell did we just do here? As a Cowboys fan, do you think this was a knee jerk, or do you think that this actually do you see a path that this could actually work?
Is that you want to win every single season? You want to win now. Mm-hmm. I'm in that mentality that you want to win now. I don't want to build for the future. I don't want to wait 5 years to be relevant or to be in the playoffs or to be talked about as a contender. I want it right now, every single season. That's how you got to be. And obviously, reality is every single season you're not going to win. But are you going to strive to win? Yes, you should. But obviously, in this case, that's not what it is for Jerry Jones. For him, it's more like, and if you saw the documentary on Netflix about Jerry Jones and the Cowboys and the 90s Super Bowls and all that stuff, you can take away from that he's very prideful. He's a marketing genius, 100%. Do not take that away from him. But that's a bad thing as well, because he knows how to get in front of the limelight, how to bring the drama, how to bring the TV ratings, how to bring the money. And that is more important to him in my eyes and a lot of other people's eyes than actually winning. I'm not saying that he does not want to win, because I do believe he does want to win, but he wants to win. He wants to be in the limelight and make more money. Yeah. That's how I see it when it comes to Jerry Jones. And yes, to answer your question, yes, there could be a potential upgrade. Like it could be, okay, we're going to take 5 steps back now, but we're going to take 10 steps, a 10-step jump later on, right? It can be that. 100% it can be that. But no, I'm trying to win now. And like it's not making sense, bro. You got one of the top 5 defensive players in the NFL on your squad. Yep. And you know that, just pay the man, dude. Just
Yeah.
freaking pay him.
Here's the other thing that's kind of interesting, and I think I really like the move for Green Bay for obvious reasons besides getting Micah Parsons. But getting rid of the 2 first-rounders, yes, you're going to be losing out on first-round assets. But if Green Bay does this right, in which they are going to be a good team, those picks are going to be in the late 20s. And some of those guys don't even pan out at all. So in Green Bay's eyes, we get a generational talent for 4 years. We got him locked up. He's happy. He got the deal that he wanted. He's back. He's playing where he wants to be. But then on their eyes, if this actually does work out, let's say they take the Chiefs approach or something like that. They go back-to-back Super Bowls or doing you know what I'm saying? Those picks are going to be later on. And some of those picks don't even make the team. You never know how it's going to work out. So that's another aspect, I think, for how Green Bay, I love this move for them. Green Bay has never been known for a team that makes free agency moves like this. Besides, like we were alluded to the Reggie White earlier, they don't really do that. They build from the ground up. They build in the draft. That's just how they run their organization. And it's worked out really well for them, obviously. But
it's interesting though too. We've been seeing this shift. It seems like this summer we saw it obviously earlier with the Magic doing in basketball across sports.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of mortgaging the next few years' first round picks for a 4 or 5 year window. But again, like you guys have been alluding to, if they win now, those picks are going to be kind of irrelevant. So it's a smart move where you're hedging your bets right now and being great, and then Dallas is taking a big chance on well, these picks might be working out. They're first-round picks. Those are not guaranteed. And that's, I think, another thing that a lot of people aren't looking at is Micah Parsons, we already know what we're getting with him. We're getting probably 15, 20 sacks each season. That's just how great of a player he is. These first-round picks the next couple of years, we don't know what those picks are going to be. And like Steve said, you better be hoping and praying then. I mean, their edge rush depth is pretty good right now with Ezraku, Fowler, and all them. But you better pray and hope then that whatever position you're targeting in the next 2 drafts, that's deep in the next 2. Because if you're picking towards the end of the first round, good luck finding a great prime generational player on your team. Yeah,
and the other thing that's kind of wild for Dallas in this situation is going back to the picks aspect of this. If Dallas is worth anything, which they did lose Micah Parsons, their defense sucked already, so that was kind of already expecting that going into it. So that's not like a huge shocker. But what if Dallas actually does pan out and make the playoffs? Now that pick, their first round pick, they're going to be picking a bunch of late picks again. So this doesn't even work out in the aspect of where they're going to be picking, number 1 overall. They're not going to be the worst team in the league. So you're going to have to hope that another pass rusher, if that's what you're going to go with, and which I don't even know, now that they did lose Micah, that's probably going to be one of their priorities. But the other thing is their running back situation. Let's see how Jaden Blue works out. They need running backs in there. The running back situation is pitiful there. So there's a lot of other things they need besides getting another generational pass rusher. Just pay the man. And what's wild, too, is about with Micah Parsons is that Micah Parsons wasn't a negative locker room guy. All the other players on the Cowboys wanted him to stick around. All of them, when he was going through all this drama, all were tweeting about how they were changing their pictures to his, and just they wanted him around. He's supposed to be apparently a good teammate. They understood what he was doing, and they had no problems, which is kind of rare in these situations. When you have such a generational talent and such a great player, and the players actually want to be around him. He's a leader, and they want to be around him, and you just kind of. You toyed around, and I think you messed around with the wrong guy. Finally, a lot of these guys finally are, they don't say they want to request the trade. And that's a new thing now. It's become almost like an NBA where it's player empowerment now. It seems like the NFL is making a transition as well. That these players are trying to call these owners out on the BS of like, hey, we're only around here for so long, and I want to win, and I want to try and make some money. So if you're not going to pay me, you're not going to treat me the way I want to be treated, I'm out.
Yep.
So I think they're kind of taking a page out of out of NBA's book out of there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. We're going to be, I think that this is kind of a transition now we're seeing with a lot of these teams. And a lot of these players. So it's going to be interesting how this kind of plays out over the next few years, the gambling and mortgaging of future on these draft picks with unhappy, unsatisfied players. It's an interesting time in sports right now with this.
And it just makes to me, it should be just obvious. Like a dude knows his worth on the field. And he knows that other teams, and it's been proven time and time again, he knows that other teams will pay what he's asking for. Yep. So if the team is not going to give me what I'm asking for, all right, cool. I'm going to request a trade. I'm out of here. I'm going to go get it somewhere else. I promise you that. And it happens time and time and time again, bro. And it's just, you can't be mad at the player for requesting the trade. Yes, I hate that we lost Parsons, but I'm not going to be upset at what he did and what he was doing throughout the whole time, because if it was me in those shoes too, and I knew my worth, I want to get paid for my worth. I don't want to get paid as like someone like he thought he should be the top highest non-QB paid in the league. And that's what he turned into now with the Packers. And he wanted to do that with Dallas, but Jerry didn't want to give it to him. And he knows his worth. Pay him his worth. If not, I'm out of here. I would do the same shit.
Yeah, I don't necessarily blame Parsons for that as well, and especially too, he ended up on a good team too. So like it would end up working out great for Parsons in this situation. He's going to end up in a great organization that they do respect their players, they do treat their players the way they should be. There is no issues going on with that, and I'm happy for Parsons in the aspect that he got out of there. And the other thing with the Cowboys too is it's not like a whole take on Cowboys just shitting on the Cowboys here, but next year, they're going to be in cap hell like the Saints usually are, man. They have so many contracts that are so high, they're going to have to figure out a lot of things. So maybe on this aspect, Jerry Jones was maybe a little bit smarter in knowing the fact that I'm going to have to pay a lot of money next year as well. So maybe I wasn't going to be able to keep him anyways. So maybe that was the plan, that he saw the writing on the wall that we're not going to come to agreement, and then you're going to have to figure out how we're going to afford to keep all these players. So maybe that was the background that we're not really seeing his side of it, but overall, I don't know. I think this is a gigantic win for the Packers, and it's a loss for the Cowboys. I can't think of it any other way.
Well, and that's what happens when you invest so much of your cap in a quarterback who, at best, has been above average. I mean, would you say I'm wrong, G Mike?
I mean, one year he was top 3. He was almost voted as MVP, but throughout his whole year, he's played above average for sure. I would agree with that. He can play better. He just doesn't have the clutch gene like that. Last year, he tried to prove a little different, which I think he took the steps towards that, but there's still more that he needs to prove for sure.
Yeah, $60 million though is still.
How interesting is it though? Is that like I don't blame the Cowboys' problems necessarily on Dak per se. I blame it more on like the defense. I think Dak is outplayed. I mean, remember Dak was starting on the bench whenever he eventually he played in the preseason, worked his way up to the top, earned that contract, got where he needed to be, and now he finally has one of the best offenses besides the running backs that he's had, and then you lose Micah Parsons. They might have actually been a slight sleeper to make a wild card and maybe make some noise there, because I think the offense is going to be awesome. I'm excited to see the Cowboys offense, but they're going to have to score, especially now losing Micah. They're going to have to put up 60 points a game. They're basically a Cincinnati Junior.
Yeah, like I was telling one of my good friends, because he's a Cowboys fan as well. I was telling him, I'm like, dude, we're going to have to pray that the opposing offenses has more turnovers than we do, and that they have a shitty defense like us. Because if not, if we're playing against teams that have great defenses and decent offense, we're going to lose, bro. We're going to lose because they're just going to like pummel us.
Or why not go after Brian Robinson? How about going after Brian Robinson? He just got traded for pennies on the dime, pretty much. They needed. I think that they have a collection of one good running back between all of them they have there. And especially with the defense being this bad, you're going to want to keep the opposite team off the field. You're going to want to put your defense on the field, so running the ball is going to be crucial for them, because if they have 2 great wide receivers, Jake Ferguson's also a great tight end. But if you score too fast, that means your defense is going to have to go back out, and that's not going to work out for you. So like they're in a very interesting spot, So I don't want to take the entire time and dog the Cowboys. I just know that like this was a big thing, man. And I know Mr. G Mike, he probably feel like he got just a straight gut punch, So it is.
Bro, you know how many people wrote to me yesterday, bro? Right before we were gonna go hit the golf range as well, I was just like already on edge. I was like, oh my god, bro! So many people wrote to me, just saying a bunch of stuff, and I'm just like, it's tough. It's tough being a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Yep. Yeah, I feel your pain, man. I literally got texts from Luka. I thought it was a joke, honestly, but then I had like 52 text messages when I woke in the morning that Luka got traded. I'm like, there's no way this actually happened. But I'm with you, brother.
That's sports, though, man. It is cyclical. One decade you're on top, running the league. The next, you're in mediocrity. So I mean,
or in the case of the Cowboys, it's been 25 years. So
I did not want to go that far, but okay.
All right, man. We got some fighting words, and speaking of fighting, man, the UFC just keeps on coming with bangers, man. The UFC finally announced the UFC 322, and this one's going to be an awesome fight here, man. JDM versus Makhachev. This is such a stylistic fight, man. You got totally different opposite styles here. You got, JDM's got some good striking. You got Makhachev with his amazing wrestling. This one's going to be a hell of a fight. I don't want to. We don't necessarily want to make predictions because it's not until November, so we got some time to think about this one, man. But G Mike, first impressions of this one, buddy.
Great, bro. I mean, again, we're not gonna make any predictions or anything, but I just want to talk about how, dude, like Dana White and his team, man, they know how to put on events, bro. And I honestly hope that it remains like this when they go to Paramount Plus. I hope it's not a lot of stuff that changes and stuff because when company goes to another company, it might hinder some things. So, but for now, man, this guy has been putting on bangers after bangers after bangers, and this one is gonna be awesome, man. It's gonna be I feel like it's gonna be a very technical fight. I don't it's gonna be very strategic. I don't think it's just gonna go. They're both gonna go in there and just blow for blow. No, I think it's gonna be like down to the last second, and obviously whoever's the best man wins. But it's gonna be a very strategic and technique fight.
Yep.
BC, man, initial reaction to this one. This is a great fight.
UFC listens to their fans. They know what their fans
Amen.
want to see. They know what kind of action they want. And that doesn't mean that UFC fans want just straight up like, McGregor Gaethje fights where they're just slugging it out on the feet the whole time or stuff like that.
Right.
They give them a good mix of technical skill and ability, great striking, submission. They know how to really, I guess, cater at different points in time to the fan base. And, tip of the cap to like marketing and everything like that. They listen and they give them what they want. I can't say anything other than that, other than other side of TKO, WWE, maybe want to start listening to your fans as well and see what they take a note of UFC, give them what they want. But that's stuff for another time. But yeah, just two great fights, headlining the card for sure. I'm definitely excited to see the clash of styles here. Especially in the women's fight. I think that's gonna be a banger of
Still the tease right here, man. This one to me is just going to be absolutely amazing. And I might be jumping the gun a little bit because it is a little bit November, but I think this is one of the most important and highly anticipated female fights in history of UFC here, man. Wei Ling and Shevchenko are arguably the two of the greatest to ever do it, no matter what gender it is. They are absolutely amazing fighters, man. I love Shevchenko. I love Wei Ling, man. I'm so excited to see this fight. G Mike, I know you got to be excited for this one, man. Both are putting their belts on the line, moving up in weights, man. Like it is just everything you want, man. Honestly, I feel like this one almost should be the headliner. I don't know. I'm just excited. I might be being biased, but I absolutely love this fight.
No, I agree, and it's dope that both of them are putting the belts down. It creates that drama, it creates that intensity before the fight, 100%. And just like the other fight, what I was talking about, technique and strategic or whatever, this one's gonna be the complete opposite. This one they're gonna go up in there and they're just gonna literally go blow for blow, and it's gonna be very intense. It's gonna be heart wrecking. You're gonna be looking at punches to hit faces, and we're gonna be like, "Yo, how the hell is she still up?" Type stuff, and it's gonna be very exciting for sure.
Yeah, man, definitely think when you have a double belt situation like this, as great as the JDM and Islam fight are going to be, I feel like this one, the drama and everything, is just that little bit more. You gotta have it main event. I think.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited about this, and I think both of them are so technically good, and just they don't have a weakness to them. I don't feel like they want to take it to the ground. You can, but I agree with you, G Mike. I think this one's going to be a striking match, and they're both so efficient too. I'm pretty sure like Shevchenko has like the best all over overall, I think, strike rate in like UFC history. Don't quote me on that one. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, though. It might have changed now with some of the new fighters, but she is absolutely amazing. And yeah, you can't say enough about this one, dude. I cannot wait for November to come around. It's going to be a lot of damn fun to be watching that one, man. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and head back from the octagon, and we're going to move to the gridiron, man. We had some really cool stuff happen last night. Mr. BC, I'm going to let you take over this one, man. If you didn't see it last night, USF put a hurting on number 25. Number 25, Boise State, at a score of 34-7. Mr. BC was there. He was working the game. He working cameras. Yep. Take it away, Mr. BC. How did it go? What was the vibe, man?
Dude, I was just hoping the game was going to be close. I mean, I figured I was feeling a little ballsy that day. I thought we'll win it on a last-second field goal. Nico Gramatica will come through clutch. And I mean, he had a couple big field goals during the game. One from like 56 yards, I want to say. So, being able to tee it up from distance, just like his daddy Martine.
I was about to ask, is that relation to
yeah.
Okay.
I ran into him on the sidelines. Actually, we did like a little we got to put him up and then on a split screen with his son. So that was a pretty cool moment. And like, boom, 56 yards. Like, yo, good luck charm right there, man. But it was good. The whole atmosphere, though, the crowd, obviously, being in a big stadium, it's kind of hard to showcase how loud the crowd can be. It's spread out. It's a smaller school. It was still a pretty good sized crowd for a USF game. Obviously, the new stadium that's going to be built in a couple years, I think, will definitely add a little bit more decibel, a little more loudness to it, a la like what UCF has with the Loud House over there. Yeah, a lot of people were really excited for this one. Obviously, like the graphic just said before, 12th win against a ranked opponent in team history, so that was big. Great way to start the season. I was talking to a lot of my buddies with the production team, and it's like we were all kind of agreeing, like if they start out with a win, that really can set the tone for the season. Like how they play tonight will set the tone. And blowing out the number 25 ranked school is about as good as a way to start the season as you can. The score obviously doesn't tell the whole story. Looking at the stats for the game, it was pretty close. Boise State actually outgained USF in terms of total yardage, passing, and rushing. It was a small amount, but they still technically outgained him. They dominated time of possession. I believe it was like 15 more minutes with the ball. But the big story of the game was turnovers. USF was able to be a lot more opportunistic with that side on defense. They maybe gave up more yards. It was the whole bend but don't break philosophy. That's I've seen a lot of great defenses. They give up a lot of yards, but they don't surrender points. They take the ball away. USF was able to do that, and not just that, but they were also able to capitalize on it and score. You get good teams take the ball away, great teams take the ball away and score on top of that. So it was just a great, I think, all-around game on both sides of the ball. And it was just a really fun setting the tone, setting the atmosphere for what the season's going to look like for sure. And I was not expecting it, but I'm happy to see it. I will say the one of the field goals was kind of knocked down a little bit at the end of the game. I was expecting pandemonium to come to the field, students rushing the field. Not as crazy as I expected. Instead of everybody coming down there quick, it was like maybe 50 people. But they eventually let all the students down in the field, and it was a good team win. But I loved it. The vibes were great. I'm definitely excited to see how they perform the rest of the season, especially with their next two matchups against both of your guys' schools. So especially on the road.
That's actually what I was about to bring up too, man. USF put themselves in a really good spot here.
Yep.
They got Miami, and then they got Florida coming up next. So it's coming out the gates. Three straight ranked teams. If they get 2 out of 3, or if they get all 3, I don't see that happening to get all 3. But if they are able to pull this off, hypothetical, man, they have to be ranked easily. They might even be ranked after this game. Maybe. What do you think?
I think for sure if they don't get ranked, they got to be like, if they're not top 25, they're top 30. They're like knocking on the door.
Right. They may like 26 maybe or something.
Yeah. And I think with regards to UF and Miami, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to blow them out like we did Boise State. I think for us, again, just that same strategy. Go in there. It's on the road. So, we're not going to have that same home atmosphere that we have, obviously, for this game. If we can keep it close, I don't even think we necessarily have to win both of these games. If we can keep it close and then just win the conference the rest of the season, you might be able to convince yourself to get I think the playoff seedings now is like 16, or are we still at 12?
12.
Okay. You might be able to convince enough people maybe to give them that spot in the playoff, because if they can win, obviously, the conference, go undefeated the rest of the way, you beat a ranked school, maybe. But again, even if you don't make the playoffs, but you can still crack the top 15 or something like that, and just keep it close against UF and Miami. I think that's a win for a season for USF. Like, win the conference, take advantage of this. And, again, this is coming from a school that has not had a lot of success. Our biggest accomplishment was getting number 2 in the rankings in college football back in 2007, and then dropping it the next week. So there's not been as much sustained success. So at this point, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, no, especially I think if they're able to put up a meteoric fight against both these teams, if not even eke one out against Miami or Florida, that'll go leaps and bounds for them as far as recruiting and for the rankings. Because if you guys say the article or not, but they're going to be changing how they're looking at the college football ranking system as well. So they're going to actually value strength of schedule, which I think it's about damn time. Because you got these teams that play, you got Alabama that, they'll play one good game, and then they'll play like 7 stinkers and blow them out by 50 and think they're the best team, And I think it's the same kind of thing that happened with Boise State. Boise State, I don't think had any business being ranked 25. They should not have been in the playoff last year. Like I was talking to a buddy of mine about it, and they were talking about too, like, should they have reversed and give it to the Heisman to Ashton Genty because he was that game important to Boise State? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But having said that, Travis Hunter, I've said, a great year. It was more of a joke, but it's just crazy how they're doing that. So I think that USF has put themselves in a really good spot by getting this top 25 win, put that on the resume, and then put up a fight at least, if not eke one of those 2 wins out, these next 2 games. Yeah. And then they have a very winnable schedule the rest of the year. They got Navy is probably the hardest one, I think, on the schedule they have left.
Outside, yeah.
They have a very interesting road ahead of them,
Yeah,
and just put up a fight.
What's up?
Just put up a fight, I think, is their biggest thing right now. Put up a fight and maybe try to win by a field goal against one of them. A win's a win. Yeah. And a team like USF, that goes a long way.
Exactly. And I will say for everybody, though, too, like Byron Brown, you're not familiar with the name, keep your eyes on him, their quarterback. He's got dog in him. He had a lot of times when he was about to get sacked, pulled out, some big runs, clutch runs, was able to run over some defenders, and he's got a good arm. He's going to be something someday. I got my eyes on him. And then just one more thing about the game, though, too, before we move on. I love what they did with regards to new tradition. They're talking about starting a lot of new traditions at USF, and I think one of the cool things they're doing is now every player or every year they're allowing one player to wear the number 63. For those that don't know much about Tampa sports history, that used to be the number Leroy Selman wore when he played for the Bucks. Obviously, one of the first ADs, I believe, in USF history. Or maybe not one of the first, but big-time athletic director in the school's history. Really helped usher in the football program, meant a lot to USF football in general. So now they're allowing one student or one football player each year to wear that. And so it's just pretty cool to kind of see, there's a little patch on the jersey as well, just to honor him, and just his legacy. I just thought that was really cool. And it's nice to see these traditions for college football. So
respect.
That's pretty sick. All right, man. Speaking of college football, guys, I am so amped for this damn weekend, man. This is probably, like I was saying before, honestly, looking at the schedule out here, man, is this not the greatest week 1 ever? I mean, how many ranked teams are there going this weekend all the way up until Monday, man? Like, it's this week, this college football schedule is almost more exciting than week 1 of the NFL. I said it. Yes, I said it. It is maybe, but it is interesting, man. It's going to be a wild-ass ride here, man. And this one is going to start it all off. We got OSU and Texas, man. This is going to be such an intriguing game. Number 1 versus number 3. A little bit of history about this matchup we got going on here. Texas and Ohio State do not have a long history of playing each other as these 2 historical schools go. I kind of thought that was interesting. The 2 programs have only played each other 4 times, and they didn't start back until 2005, and as recent as the college football playoffs, as this last college football playoffs. Right now, they're sitting at 2-2 in the records. Their games have always been close. All the games they've played have always been really tight and really close, so there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff. This game has so much appeal to it as well, man. You got Arch Manning starting the regiment as the actual starter now. No more Quentin Ewers. Texas has an amazing defense. They come in the first time in their program history coming in number 1 ranked in the country. That was a surprising thing to me as well. You got Jeremiah Smith for Ohio State. Ohio State has a new quarterback coming in too after Will Howard and going to the NFL. You got a first-time play caller for the Ohio State Buckeyes this year as well. Fresh off that national championship. Mike, man, tell me how excited you are about this one, because this one's going to be awesome.
Very, very excited. But I want to shout out Scott right here. Steve, you want to join us for a round of golf in the morning? Let's go. Yeah. Boy, a golfer, baby.
I'm working, man. I'm working.
He's working in the morning, baby.
I'm working now. But thanks for watching the show. I probably will. We'll see.
Yeah, bro, very excited for this game, and very excited for this week 1. I mean, dude, bro, you said it best. It's comparing to the NFL. I feel like a little later on, one of my boys said it best. Feel like a little later on, this is gonna fizzle out because of all the important stuff that comes behind actually losing in college. So, first game of the season, a big time game, and you actually lose, and next thing you know, the whole season from then on is kind of some teams is kind of pointless because you're not going to make the playoffs and stuff like that. So I think this is going to change, but for now, we'll take it for what it is and be grateful for what it is. And number 1 game, first thing I want to talk about is, why is this not a night game? Like, why is it at 12 p.m., right? Second,
it's like 12 noon is like the new prime time for college football.
That's what I feel. Like, I feel like people like to watch college football more in the early afternoon than they do at night. I don't know. Maybe there's a voting to that. Maybe there's research to that we don't know. But whatever, we'll take it for what it is. Number one going up against number three, reigning champions, Ohio State. I predict to have top 5 defense across the whole nation. Texas, top 5 offense across the whole nation. You got a star-studded quarterback. Well, we're supposed to think that he's a star-studded quarterback, and I feel like he is. I'm sure you guys agree too, but other people out there will want to say, well, I want to see what he's going to do. Okay, don't worry about it. He's going to go out there and he's going to show y'all that he can actually put on Arch Manning. He can actually go out there and put on the show, and he can be that quarterback that we all think that he's going to be. It's going to be crazy for him to go up against a defense like this in his first game out. But it's gonna show some grit. It's gonna show some poise if he can show that. And it's gonna be a good test for him in that offense and for Texas all around. Man, it's gonna be very exciting. If we're gonna make a prediction, I think Texas can pull this game out if their defense comes to the show and show everybody, yo, we're a top 5 defense across the whole nation as well. Don't think Ohio State's the only one out here, because Ohio State, in my eyes, took a step back. New coordinator, new quarterback, new running backs. Yes, they have a superstar wide receiver in Ja'Marr Smith. Don't get that twisted. This guy is going to get like 10 catches for like 2 TDs. But can they stop Texas from scoring so much? And can Texas stop Ohio State a few times just to get up in the scoreboard and maybe win by a field goal?
Yeah, I think Arch Manning has to be the most hyped quarterback since Andrew Luck coming out of college, really. I mean, or Trevor Lawrence maybe to be going more recently, I guess, if you will. It's going to be interesting to see. He's in the prime time, his first major start, and this game isn't at home, by the way. It's in the Horseshoe, which is extremely loud and extremely difficult to play in. So that's going to be another factor coming in here. And all those Ohio State kids are going to be fresh off a national championship. It's fresh in the mind. You got a big program like Texas coming in here. Big Ten wants to claim that they're the kings of college football now, and the SEC is kind of taking a backseat to them. Texas is in the SEC now, so this is big boy football right here, man. SEC versus Big Ten right out the gates, 12 o'clock mid-noon. Man, that is such an amazing way to start off the season, man. BC, man, how are you feeling about this game?
I love it. I mean, you guys pretty much summed up everything that there is to need to know about this game. I will say I think Texas defense is going to be, I would say, probably a step better than Ohio State, and I think that especially in this matchup, that's going to play that's going to play big time for sure. I don't think it's going to be as close as a field goal. I got Texas here winning by a touchdown, but I think Arch Manning, he's going to come in here, and I think that he will show everybody that why he is the next. He's got next in terms of the Manning bloodline. So I think that this is kind of his coming out party, and I'm excited to see what he and Texas is able to do this season. I feel like you've got a great offense led by, I think, a promising young quarterback, and you've got a great defense led by Steve Sarkisian. So I think that is going to be all the ingredients you need for probably the best odds to win championship this season.
So I guess I'll have to be the opposite, the odd man out here. I'm going to Ohio State in this one, man. I think Ohio State playing at home, fresh off that national championship game. I love the quarterback they have coming in there. The quarterback they have coming in there was also supposed to be Nick Saban's last quarterback. He wanted him so bad. He was supposed to go to Texas as well. Ended up going to Ohio State. I think I love the offense for Ohio State. I think that Smith is the real deal. I just feel like it's going to be a lot of pressure on Texas and Arch Manning. I think Texas is going to be a great team. The defense is going to be stout and solid. Don't get me wrong, but I just like how Ohio State, it's a big game, big time for them, and they're at home. I feel like it's going to be in their favor, and they're going to come out here ready to play. They kind of probably feel a little bit jaded that they did not get the number 1 overall seed after not having a bad recruiting class. Nothing went negative for them in the offseason, national championship, and then they're number 3. I feel like they might have that might be that chip on the shoulder that they need to continue to come out and put it out. I've never been an Ohio State guy. I can't even believe I actually picked Ohio State, but I just think that I think Ohio State's going to get Texas. Texas, to me, it seems like they don't show up when it comes to these big moments, and they kind of fumble a little bit, lack of better terms for a football term, but you get what I mean here. So, just as we're on the same page here, Mr. G, Mike, you're taking Texas. I'm taking Ohio State, and BC, you are taking Texas as well. Whew, that is going to be one hell of a game. So there's also another major game going on, and this one's actually be on Sunday, not Saturday. And this one's going back to the old school, man. The Miami Hurricanes are taking on Notre Dame, man. Like I alluded to earlier, the classic convicts versus the Catholics. G-Mike, this is your home stomping ground, man. It's going to be a home game for Miami. What's your thoughts, man? New era for Miami. Carson Beck's coming into town. Was it worth all that money?
I think so, man. I think so. He came from the SEC. You play big time schools there. If you want to be an actual NFL player, that's a conference that you want to go through from college to get up to the pros. That's where you want to train. That's where you want to play in. It's like it's almost the closest level to the NFL than any other conference. So I think, we'll be good with him. He's a good pocket passer. He's intelligent. He knows how to read the secondary, the linebackers. He gets not great when he comes under pressure and stuff like that, but I feel like he'll create that poise in the ACC. It'll be different for him, a different type of play. I think our offense is going to be good. I don't think it's going to be electric like last year because Cam Ward is a different story, and they're going to compare him to Cam Ward all season long for sure. The main thing that I want to see improvement on is the defense, right? Because with Miami, it's always, okay, we have good defense and we have good skilled players and we don't have a quarterback. Now it's turned into we have a quarterback, we have skilled players, but we don't have a defense. So that's what it was last season, and it's like we want to see some improvement on that. Notre Dame, their offense is not crazy good, but it's good enough to get a win. Their defense is freaking spectacular, and I feel like last season, that's why they got to the national championship game. Last season is just going to roll on for them, so they're going to get some turnovers on us. I feel that it's going to happen. Carson Beck will probably throw an interception for sure. They'll probably have a forced fumble for sure. So we got to see how our defense is going to play with their offense. And if I'm going to make a prediction, I'm going to go with the hometown. This is another game that I think is going to end by a field goal. You all the way, baby.
And Mr. BC, what do you think about that one, man?
I'm not going to spoil it much. I'm going to stick with G-Mike on this one too. I think that the difference is going to come down to you've got a freshman quarterback making the start for Notre Dame versus Carson Beck. Yeah, it's a new team and everything like that, but he's a senior. He's seasoned. He's been in for the longest time what's considered the toughest conference in college football. So I think that this is just going to be one of those things. It's going to be a learning curve for Notre Dame for sure. It's going to be a learning curve for CJ Carr. I think that, again, he'll have. I think both QBs will have relatively good games. I think Carr, just because he's going up against a weaker defense on paper in Miami, and then obviously Beck, I think, just because of the experience he has, especially against elite competition. So I feel like it will be a closer one, I think, than Texas and Ohio State. I will agree. I think this one does come down to a field goal, like G-Mike said. But yeah, I think that this is where you're going to see the difference between experience versus potential.
Man, we are disagreeing like crazy today, man. I'm going Notre Dame, and I think Notre Dame's going to win big, to be honest with you. I believe in Notre Dame. I think they're going to do a really good job. And I think what it comes down to as well is X's and O's, man. I trust Marcus Freeman, the head coach. I think he's poised for these kind of situations. I haven't trusted Cristobal at all. He's a great recruiter, but I haven't really seen much of what they've done. They've seemed like they've come up short in some of these games whenever they know they needed to, ergo the Syracuse game. Miami looks like they're going to be okay. I think it's going to be bad for Miami fans to try and compare Carson Beck to Cam Ward. I think you're right on that. They're different players. They're not the same players. And I hope for Miami's sake, they don't put Carson Beck in the same situations they put Cam Ward in. The reason Cam Ward had so many highlight reel plays was because the defense put him in those situations, and he had to do everything to come back and win those games. There's a few of those games that Miami should have never won, but Cam Ward had that dog in him and had the will to win, and he pulled him through. I don't believe Carson Beck's that guy, though. I think that they're going to have to play a little bit different offense than they've played in the past. It just depends on which Carson Beck's going to show up. You go back 2 years ago, Carson Beck was the real deal. You go back even as far as like a year ago or so, granted, there's a little bit of injury involved, not the same guy. So I'm interested to see how he's going to look. It is a new offense, new conference. Like you were saying, ACC has a couple good teams. I think Georgia Tech's really good this year. Clemson is going to be great this year. They're also playing on Saturday, have a huge game, which I think is going to be one of the best games of the day as well. But having said that, man, yeah, I'm going to take Notre Dame, and I think Notre Dame's going to win big in this one, to be honest with you, man. I don't believe in Miami in this game. Now, in a couple weeks, whenever we play each other, G Mike, we can go back to we'll have to make another bet. I did have to sing the fight song. If you guys want to see that, I sung it live on that was probably episode 5 or so, something like that. So you got to go back a few ways. But I'm a man of my word, and we'll definitely be making some bets as this goes on again. So as a recap, I'm taking Notre Dame. BC, who are you taking?
I am going to be taking University of Miami.
Do I even have to ask?
No.
All right, man. All
I
right.
was gonna say we got all 3 of our teams playing each other though too over the span of like 2 or 3 weeks. Like we can honestly have a bet going for all 3 of us. I mean, I'm game.
Absolutely,
we can work that out.
So, in the spirit of the down bad debates, this isn't our down bad debate. I found this and I thought this was a great little debate that we can have here. So it reads up here, the question of the day, which team has from last year's playoff will return this season? And obviously we can eliminate Boise State.
Not Boise State.
Obviously,
it's not Boise State.
You got
Oregon, Georgia, Arizona State, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Tennessee, Indiana, SMU, Clemson. Out of these teams, which team do you think will automatically, for sure, make it back in, and which one do you think will be out? And let's discount Boise State in here, obviously, with what we already know that happened yesterday. G-Mike, you can go first.
Should I just pick one, or can I pick few?
No, go for both. Which one do you think is an absolute winner to get in, and then which one do you think is not going to get in?
Absolute winner to get in, Ohio State. Not to get in. Damn. That one's. I'll say Arizona State.
Interesting. All right, I'll go in this one. I think automatic that's going to get in is Oregon. I think Oregon is a very good team, and I think that's not going to make it in is Indiana. I think Indiana had a nice run last year. I don't think they're going to be able to make it in this year. And it's possibly that one's kind of difficult too because I could have easily went SMU or Tennessee as well. I think they all have their flaws, but I'm going to go with Indiana just because they're in the Big Ten. It's going to be kind of hard for them to make it out of that gauntlet of a league that it is. BC, who you got, man?
Texas for the automatic in for sure. Too dominant on both sides of the ball, not to. I think anyway. And then for my not going to be back, SMU.
Yeah, that one made sense to me too.
I feel like they're going to be that one like group of 5 conference school that made it in last year that won't have the same luck. And I think this year you're just going to have a different group of 5 make it in. Which one? Hoping USF, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, I agree. I can see that one too. I'm surprised going with Arizona State up there, man. Arizona State's got a pretty good squad this year too, so that was an interesting pick on that one.
Is that they just weaseled their way in last season and they took it away from the UM. You know what I'm saying? So
he's still bitter.
Yeah,
still bitter. Still bitter.
We can debate that one, but all right. Well, speaking of one of our favorite segments and which all you guys seem to totally love and enjoy, it is time now for our Down Bad debate.
It's time for the Down Bad debate.
And tonight we're going to do 2 down bad debates, so we got double the fun here. Obviously,
fantasy is back, baby.
Fantasy football is back. It's what G Mike was just telling you guys, and it is so much fun, and I am so excited about it. So this one's going to be a mid-tier, mid-round wide receiver here. This isn't it's not a sneak draft or anything. It's more or less just as simple as it is. Who would you rather draft? DK Metcalf, Stephon Diggs, or Cooper Kupp? G Mike, you're up top. Lay it on me, man. What you got?
I'm not going Cooper Kupp because he's going to be the wide receiver 2 here, and I don't know what we're going to get from Sam Darnold, man. I wouldn't put all my eggs in that basket, out of these other 2 receivers here, Stephon Diggs and DK Metcalf. I think it's a very hard decision, whichever one that I am going to choose. It's not like one is taking the race away from the other. It's just like neck and neck right there. But I think I'll give it to DK Metcalf just because Aaron Rodgers is going to want to do good for the Steelers. He respects that organization way too much. He wants to show that he can still win with people doubting him and all that stuff. DK Metcalf is a true wide receiver 1, tall as hell, physical, speedy, sticky glue hands. This guy will not shy away from contact. He'll catch the ball and get yards after the catch. So when it comes to fantasy, he'll get a lot of targets. He'll catch them a lot, and he'll get yards after the catch. Most likely, he'll get a lot of red zone targets as well throughout the season. I'll take DK.
Yeah.
Yeah, DK is such an animal, man. I wanted to go DK in here too. I'm probably going to live to regret this one, but I'm going to go with Cooper Kupp. I would love to take DK Metcalf, but just for the sake of argument, since you took DK, that's just fine. I'm going to go Cooper Kupp here, and I think because Cooper Kupp is going to fit into this system very, very well. I think that all the focus is going to be on JSN because he is the alpha number one in that group. So that leaves open Cooper Kupp, who, yes, he is getting a little bit older and it has lost a slight step, but what happens every single time that you have to double team one guy, you leave somebody else open. And Cooper Kupp has shown you that he can be a dominant force whenever he is able to do it. Now, if you remember back in Cooper Kupp's career, he's pretty much always been kind of had a number two on his team the entire time. Even when Puka Nacua was there, he still was getting peppered with targets. Granted, that was Matthew Stafford. This is a little bit different regimen, but I like the way they're able to use the offense. And if you've watched anything about Seattle, they've been designing some of the offense a little bit differently and running packages where they're almost running slightly the same route. So you have to be able to take out one of the two, and both of them are sure-handed catching guys. A little bit smaller on both of them. Cooper Kupp is definitely not the same Cooper Kupp as he used to be, but with JSN taking all that pressure off of them, and if they run the ball correctly, I think Cooper Kupp could be a hell of a steal in this one.
Right, and I guess I am going to be the middleman here. I know that ideally I'd take DK Metcalf, but just for fun, just for the sake of argument, I'm going to say Stephon Diggs, just because I think of all the receivers here, I feel like he will probably get most targets, and I feel like just he's going to be relied upon so heavily with that New England offense. I think that Drake May as well, for his development to continue moving forward, he's going to need to rely heavily upon Stephon Diggs, and I feel like that just means that he's just going to get the most opportunity out of all these guys. So I'm going to lean Stephon Diggs here.
I do agree with that. I do think that he's going to get the most targets out of all three, for sure.
And I would say probably of all three of these guys, I was going to say he had a high peak, and I feel like he's not too far out of his prime to still not have, I think, a bounce back season in New England. Again, team's not going to do anything, but he'll still get Pro Bowl caliber numbers, maybe all pro.
Yeah.
All right. So just as a quick rundown here, real quick, G-Mike, who you got?
I got DK Metcalf.
I am taking Cooper Kupp because I think JSN is going to get double teamed constantly, and that leaves Mr. Cooper Kupp open.
And I am taking Stephon Diggs because there is nobody else in that New England offense that's going to get nearly as many targets as him.
All right. So from the wide receivers, we got the same style. We got the running backs, man, and everybody loves some running backs in the NFL. This one is who would you rather draft? Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, and Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's go in reverse order this one, man. BC, you're up first.
I might get killed for this because a lot of people swear by the man curse being real, but I'm taking Saquon Barkley in this one. I think that a lot of people would say, oh, it's going to be impossible for him to replicate that same success that he had the year before, the Madden curse, yada, yada. I don't really care. I think that much of his situation on offense hasn't changed that much. They still have majority of the offensive line coming back. Everyone on that team, on that up front, is still elite. They have still great pass catching targets in terms of, AJ Brown, and that can kind of take pressure off of him. And I think as well, because I think the tush push won't be as prevalent with Philly this year, I think that he's going to get more of those carries, especially on the goal line. That's just a prediction of mine. And I think that he's going to get a lot of those touchdowns back that we saw Jalen Hurts take away from him. So he may not necessarily reach 2,000 yards again, but don't be surprised if he gets around 20 touchdowns this season instead as a consolation.
All right, G-Mike, you're up, man.
I'm going to take Bijan, man. I'm going to take Bijan, bro, because he's going to have Michael Penix Jr. at the throne there. He's going to, yes, there is a lot of weapons out there for Michael Penix, but I feel like he's going to be playing good defenses. His division is pretty good when it comes to defense. And when you got a rookie quarterback like that, obviously he's not a rookie. He's a sophomore, but to me, it's more of a rookie because he only played 4 games last season at the end of the season or something like that. So this is truly his rookie season in my eyes. So he's going to be playing a lot of good defenses. So when it comes to when he's got to make quick decisions and get the ball out of his hands so he don't make no turnovers or he don't get no sacks or throw under the pressure, he's going to dump it off to Bijan, baby. And obviously they're going to have him running the rock. He's probably going to run the rock maybe 12 15 times a game. Obviously, he has Tyler Algier behind him, so it's going to be a little different. He's not going to get a workload, but he's still going to get to 12 to 15 touches, and I think he could get like at least 5 targets a game. And this guy is going to make sure that he gets yards after the catch.
So I think this worked out perfect for me, man. I like Jahmyr Gibbs. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be awesome this year, man. I think that the 1-2 punch is going to go away a little bit more. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a one-man show, really, and I think that David Montgomery is going to show up whenever he's as needed, if you will. I love his pass-kicking ability. I love the fact that they could put him in the slot. They could do so many different things for him. I wish he was a little bit bulkier, had a little bit more meat on his bones, but what he can do when he has the ball in his hands is absolutely electric. I think Bijan is overall probably one of the greatest running backs in the league right now. I just don't with some of the line problems that the Atlanta Falcons has had, some of the injuries they've had. I'm kind of nervous about that, and the fact of like the wide receiver core has gotten kind of weak. You got Drake London, Darnell Mooney is going to be coming back, but he came off an injury. Kyle Pitts, if they finally ever figure out a way to use him. So I feel like they're going to stack the box a little bit more against Bijan. And I hate to go with the Saquon can't do it again, which I absolutely think he can. And you are completely right in the aspect of that. They didn't really lose much for people to say that. It's not as if all of a sudden, they had a bunch of trades and all this different stuff. So he could do it again. I just don't. I don't like the age that he's at when it comes to the running back. When it also comes to the season and the carries that he had. So I think it just adds to a little bit more injury prone. And on top of it too, I think the Eagles are going to be smarter than try and make him do all that again, because they also have Will Shipley, who's a pretty good backup as well. So if their aspirations are win the Super Bowl, in which that's what everybody's is, I don't think they're going to use him as much as he did. And a lot of those yards came off of breakaway runs that Saquon Barkley had. He wasn't necessarily, but between the tackles guys, he would have these big runs because that line is so good. So and having said all that, I would actually, I'm kind of excited. I would take Jahmyr Gibbs. So just as a quick rundown here, since I'm on, we'll go on the screen here. I took Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's going to be electric. His pass catching ability, the fact of I think David Montgomery is going to be used a little bit less. You could line him up in the slot. You can do a lot of different things with Jahmyr Gibbs. So I'm going to take Jahmyr Gibbs. BC, who you got?
I got Saquon Barkley. I think for sure that he can still replicate, maybe not the exact same numbers as last year, but I still think he'll put up great numbers, and he might just kind of get a few more touches at the goal line and without the tush push as much.
I got Bijan, baby. I got Bijan.
Thank you, guys. You're too kind.
Take him.
Great today. All right, guys. Well, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for a holiday edition of Views from the Stands. We had a lot. We hope you did.
Labor Day, baby.
Labor Day. Enjoy yourself. Be safe, and just be safe out there for sure. We are going to be having some new ventures coming up here. Assist is going to be a big thing for us. We'll be doing like a Manning cast style. Be doing a lot of big things, and hopefully you guys are able to join it with us and enjoy it as much as we do. BC, you got anything for the people before we take off?
I was going to say, enjoy this Labor Day weekend. Take some time off, rest. If you guys are planning on going to theme parks, please do. Or not theme parks, oh my gosh. I was going to say, if you guys are going to watch baseball, please don't forget the Rays. I want to make sure I can get in, get out, get home early. I just want a quick game. I swear the amount of times I swear I'm working Universal, it's a nightmare, but that's a story for another day. So PTSD over here.
All right, G Mike, what do you got for the people before we sign off, man?
Yeah, guys, please, if you guys can, please like, subscribe, and share the show with your family, friends, strangers, whoever you can up and down the street on your socials. Just share it to anybody that you see posting on their stories. Just get the link, put it on the story, boom, you're out of there, man. We really appreciate you guys tuning in all the time and writing in the chat. If you guys ever want to be on the show, you can send us an email. You'll see it there on our TikTok page. You see the socials come up on your screen, TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube. Write to us on our email, and we could get you on the show. Or if you just want to talk smack on the side of the comments, you could do that as well too. But we appreciate all the love, support, and all the subscribes. All the subscribes, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just wanted to bring it up. It just happened today. We are also keep on growing. We are now officially on Amazon Music for podcasts as well. So you have another area to check us out and get all this amazing content that you love so much. For Views from the Stands, I am Stevie B. We got BC, Mr. G Mike, and we are out. Have a safe holiday weekend.